Welcome to Funky Junk Inspiration. My name is Christy. I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like and comment and hit that little bell to get notifications. Today is Stencil Sunday with my co-host Mary from the Painted Peach, DIY number 1. Hi everybody, it's Christy from Funky Junk Inspiration. I hope you're having a great day. Let's get started with DIY number 1 for Stencil Sunday. Woo! Alright, so I'm going to use these as stencils. This is an exclusive collaboration with Melissa Bradshaw and Essential Stencils. If you use the code FunkyJunk at checkout, if you are on their website, you will get to save 10%, and that also helps me out a little bit. Okay, so I have this wonderful chair back right here. And I'm going to put this on here. Obviously, it doesn't fit exactly how it's wrote here, but I'm going to scrunch the words a little bit better. Okay, so my main thing is I want to get home in the middle and then move everything around. But I'm kind of thinking along the lines of possibly also using the one or two or all three of these kind of in the background. But I don't know, because I don't know if it will take away from the wording, or I even thought about maybe just having, like this one here, or one of them just kind of here on the end. Okay, so that one seems to fit the best if I put those on the end right there and kind of put that point and have it just kind of run off of the chair right there. And just do it very faintly, because if I did that, the only words that are going to run into that are the always and the you. I think that might be okay. I think we could do that in this like caramel color if I have enough in here. Might have to add a little water to it to see if we could get some out, because I want to do this in white so it really pops off of the board. Okay, so actually not very much of it would be on that. Okay, so I think that's what we're going to do. I'm always changing my mind around here, so that's something that you'll get used to if you follow me for very long. Okay, so let's just try this. Let's see if I can get any of this caramel out. If not, I'm going to grab, if I can get enough just to do this with. I'm thinking I can. I'm going to leave it sit. I'm going to leave them sit like that while we start and get some more out of there. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my stencil brush. I love the Essential stencil brushes. Now I'm going to slide this over. I want it kind of in the middle of that, all right? So I'm just kind of guessing there. I don't want it to go off at the top. I'm going to slide it down. We're going to say that's good there. And just to make sure that it stays in place, we're going to put a little piece of tape in here. I've kind of got some things laying everywhere. All right, so here we go. So let's get us some paint on our brush. Work that paint up into our bristles right here, just like that. And we definitely don't want paint on the end of our brush. So I usually grab a rag and make sure I don't have blobs of paint on there. Less is best when you're stenciling. Okay, now I'm just gonna go in a circular motion. I'm just gonna go right over the top of this stencil. I'm just kind of holding it down to make sure it stays down, since this is a little bit of a curved surface here. I also don't want to pull it. So I'm just trying to be very, very careful. And this is, this must be no, it's a satin paint, but the surface, I don't know, it's just showing up kind of weird on here. Let's see what it looks like. I like it though. I think that'll look cool. I'm kind of wondering if we should just go all the way across. Let's go ahead and go down here. And I'm going to guesstimate about at the same spot. What happens if I'm wrong? Absolutely nothing. Nothing happens if I'm wrong and it's a little bit off. We don't worry about that kind of stuff here at Funky Junk Inspiration. We do with what we get done. And if we get done with our project and it makes us happy and makes us smile, then we've done a good job. Okay, my friend Lisa from Heart's Desire says that all the time. And it's just something that has always resonated in my heart, because I've always thought, you know, people that critique people, tell them, you know, things that are wrong with their stuff, you know, are not happy people. And you know what? You didn't make it for them, and it's homemade. And what we say around here is, poop on those kind of people. We don't need them in our life anyway, right? Okay. Oh, I'm kind of liking that. But like I said, I'm wondering if we should just, I wonder if I'll just put one in the middle. Let's just put one in the middle. Why the heck not, right, you guys? Why not? Why wouldn't we put one in the middle? Because I'm going to throw this paint away because it's just barely anything coming out. So if you can see that on camera, I've got a little bit of a mess sitting there. But anywho, here we go. So I picked this light color that's just a little bit lighter than the wood, so that you can see it on there, but I want it to kind of be almost like it's a shadow on there, so that when I put the white over the top, you know, the words will still stand out. That's my thinking on this. We'll see. The other day I did a project and I had a background on it, and I ended up not liking it at all. And we ended up doing something completely different. I would show it to you, but I've already taken it to my store to be sold. So I love how that looks. I don't think we could fit more in there, but I think I really like how that looks, you guys. You can't, it's vaguely on there, but I think it adds just enough class to that to look fancy dancy, right? Okay, let me grab my hair dryer here. We're gonna dry this real quick right here, and I want to say thank you to the Stencil Sundays girls. We have two hosts, which is me and then Mary from the Painted Peach. We'd love it if you'd subscribe to our channels. Go check everything out. And we've got some wonderful, wonderful collaborators joining us today. So it's going to be an awesome, fun day, and all that kind of stuff. Today is Stencil Sunday. Any kind of stenciling goes. It could be essential stencil. It could be chalk couture. You can make them on your Cricut. Whatever. We're just kind of stenciling. All right. So now let's get this on here. Now I want the word home. This will make it a little easier, because that point right there, I want the word home right in the middle, as close to the bottom as I can get it. Okay. So I'm thinking that looks good. Now I'm going to kind of look up here and see my word May Your Journey. I'm just going to kind of glance to see if I have it straight, so that my words are not a little bit off. If they are, again, oh well, things happen. All right, so I'm just going to grab my piece of tape, and I'm just going to kind of put that over here to hold that down. If you follow me, you know that I don't normally do a lot of taping, but with this being a curved shape like this, we needed to do that. All right, so I'm going to drop my brush in some water, because I'm not going to use that color anymore, so it can be soaking. Now I am going to use, the best thing for stenciling is chalk paint. Okay, I like to buy the Rust-Oleum chalked paint. I buy it in the quart, and then I put it in the FIFO bottles. That is my favorite paint. The reason it's my favorite paint, not that there's other wonderful paints out there, by buying it in the quart makes it a little bit cheaper, less expensive, and I love the finish that it leaves on everything, so I am extremely happy with it. All right, so we're going to put the word home on here. Are you ready? Again, I worked my paint up in my bristle. I don't have a bunch on the end of my brush, and here we go. Now just go over it one time. You don't have to keep going over it. Okay, you can always add more paint if you're not happy with the way it looks when you're completely done. Okay, so believe me, there's more paint going on this board than what it appears. It kind of looks like I've missed a lot of spots. See that? But yet when I lift this up, you're going to see I'm just going to get a few spots where it's a little bit uneven. okay? But when I lift this up, you're going to see that it went on there just fine, okay? I kind of like how that looks. That looks good. See how it's not like on there perfectly? That's what I like, all right? So now we need to, I'm going to run the dryer over that real quick. It's chalk paint. It's probably already dry, but we're going to run our dryer across it real fast. Super fast, super fast. Let's set that right there. Okay, so now I need to, because I had my home and we were off the board, I don't need to move down much. So what I could do is just line up my home again. See, I'm barely off the board. Okay, so for those two lines, rather than trying to do each line separate to make the distance between them the same, I'm just going to kind of trick it, and I'm just going to pull it down so that that part is on the board, and then the home will be just a tish difference, and that is not going to matter at all. I'm just simplifying it to make it a little bit easier for me right here. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there, get a little more white paint on my brush. I'm going to work that paint in the brush. Offload, offload, offload is the key to stenciling. Alrighty, and here we go. Again, I'm just working in a circular motion. I'm not pushing down real hard. I'm just running my stencil brush across this stencil, okay? Now, if you find yourself gritting your teeth or your shoulders hurt or something like that, you're probably pushing too hard. Let that brush do what it's meant to do. Let it do the painting. You just kind of move it around. It's a bad habit. It's a habit that you get into of pushing down real hard. You really don't need to. Now, I will say this. It is a good idea if you're swirling one way to go back across and swirl the other way, because any of the little spots that you may have got like a blob of paint, going back the other direction is going to pick that up. All right? So, whoa. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, you guys, this is so pretty. So pretty. I love these these chair backs. First person I've seen do something with a chair back was my friend Mary from the Painted Peach, which she's a co-host on this playlist right here. But she's the first person that I've seen do that. And when I was at the antique store a few months ago, and there was a lady there that had some chair backs, I knew I had to get it. Now, I have one left. I only bought 3, and I'm kind of thinking that I need to make a trip back and see if she has any more. The one at Christmas I put the nativity scene on it, and I put it in my store, and within a day it was sold. So I had planned on making more of them, but you know, life gets in the way a lot. So anyway, all right, look at that. How does that look? Doesn't that look beautiful? I love it. I love it. I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm going to take my dryer here and dry this a little bit. Now, one of the things I will do is I will put some clear wax on this. I will not spray clear coat on it. I'm going to use the wax on it. I just feel like when it's older wood that the wax is a little bit better. But I'm going to let this paint dry at least overnight so that I know that it's good and dry, because it is acrylic paint, which has water in it, and I could reactivate it by getting it wet. Does that make sense? I'm just kind of, look at me, I'm just barely rubbing my hand over this with the thing, and then I'm going across here because I don't want to feel any of that. I don't want to feel the letters. I don't want to feel the paint, so that it's almost like the chair was made with that in there. So this is the end of DIY number 1. I love how it turned out, and again, if you want to use Essential Stencil and save 10%, the code is FunkyJunk, all one word. All right? Thank you. right, hi ladies, and welcome to DIY number 2. We just got finished with one DIY and we're going to do another one. This one right here, I'm going to take, these are pieces of old pallet boards. My husband cut them up. I said do not throw those away under any circumstances because I can do some things with them. So that's what these are. What we're going to do today is we're going to take another stencil from our friend Melissa Bradshaw from Junk and Craft Treasures. She did a collaboration with Essential Stencils and they sold out. I mean, these are some amazing stencils and stuff here. But Essential Stencil has a ton of different stencils, and if you use the code FUNKYJUNK at checkout, it'll save you 10%. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see what side I like up the best. And I'm thinking that I like the side that I had up before. Now, how am I going to make these boards stay hooked together? Because they're different heights and all that kind of crazy stuff. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit here. And I'm just going to run a bead of hot glue down each side of each one. Now, I'm thinking this will stay just fine. You could add some wood glue in there if you wanted to, but I think I will be okay because I do not plan to hang this in the sunlight. Okay, now if I was hanging this in the sunlight, you definitely would want to use a different kind of glue. And I'm thinking I might put a couple of these on just to kind of help hold it into place. Okay, so again, here we go. These boards are different sizes. They're different thicknesses. They're different lengths. They're cut weird, all the craziness. But that's what we like. That's what we like, the craziness. Okay, that's also why I'm putting this down, because then that surface on the other side will be my flat surface to stencil on. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of hold this here for just a second. Now there is a great possibility that when I flip this over, there may be some glue that came through the other side. If so, we will just wipe it off. In the meantime, I'm going to take my little things here, and I think I'm going to cut them and put a couple. See, these are different sizes, but if I hook these together and then hook these together, I think we'll be good. Okay, I don't think we're going to have an issue. You know, if we do, we do, but I think we're going to be good. And I'm just going to cut this with this, maybe. Might have to get my little saw out and cut it. All right, and I need to cut another one off. Okay, good enough. And I'm just going to put one there. I'm going to put one there. And then, like I said, what I could do is I could attempt to... Let me get this little nubby off of here. There we go. Maybe I could put one there. Put this little nubby. Maybe do something along those lines. And I think we'll be okay. I think I'm making a mountain out of a molehill, which is something that I do a lot. Make it harder than it needs to be. Okay? So I just don't want it to separate. All right? So I'm just going to stick that on there. And I'm going to hold it for just a few minutes. Not minutes, just a few seconds. Usually your hot glue sets up fairly quickly. If you notice, my hot glue's got a little bit of an orange tinge to it. I left my glue gun on the other day. Didn't leave it like on all day or all night or anything like that, but I left it on there long enough that the glue got hot in there. And so there's that. Now, I have a note over by my door that says, "Is everything shut off?" So when I walk out of the room, I see that. Now, I'm going to get used to seeing it. That's the bad thing, right? So anyway, okay. So we have that. Let's flip this board over. Oh, look at that. See, isn't that pretty? That's going to be so pretty. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some chippy brushes here, okay? And I'm going to grab 4 of them because I'm going to use 4 different colors. And the colors I'm going to use for my background are these 4 colors. I'm going to use this pink, bubblegum pink. I'm going to use this turquoise color right here. I'm going to use this aqua color right here. And I'm going to use the barn red color. Okay, I love this barn red color, is my very favorite. But we don't need a lot. We just need a little of each color. And we're just going to kind of dry brush these colors real fun onto this background. Okay, and then we'll do the stencil on it, and easy peasy. We have a wonderful piece of farm decor to hang up to use year round. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to start with the red because it is the darkest color, and I kind of want it down towards the bottom. And I probably, if I'm going to be honest, I'm probably wanting more red on it than any other color. So what we may end up doing is we may end up coming back in with the red when we're all done, just to add a little more of the red to it, because obviously, you know, you look at the red color, you're thinking of, you know, the back roads and stuff, which is what our stencil talks about. Okay, I want to make sure I get up to the edges and all that kind of stuff. I may need a little more paint than I thought. This is palette boards, and they tend to suck up the paint pretty good. Right there. And I am, like I said, I'm using a lot of this red. Okay. All right, so there we go. Kind of looks like an old barn door or a side of a barn or something that the paint is just kind of worn off on. All right, that's what we're looking for right there. I'm going to sit that brush down because I'm probably going to use it again. I'm going to give this a quick dry. I don't need to worry about getting it super dry, but just a quick dry. Now I'm going to go in with this color right here. This was, I believe, the turquoise color. Yes, the turquoise color right there. All right, and I'm not going to put a lot of it. Okay, I just want it to have some hints of this. Well, or I'm going to put a lot. When you're dry brushing, remember to dry brush lightly, but also change the direction of your brush every once in a while. You know, go up and with it long ways, go with it flat, do it all kinds of different ways. I love how that's looking, because this is looking pretty cool. It's looking pretty cool. And I will tell you, a lot of times I'll keep using the same brush when I'm dry brushing on all the different colors. But I was a little nervous that they would start getting muddy on this board here. Okay, so now we're going to go in with the aqua color right here. And how did I, you know, if you're going to ask, how did I pick these colors? Well, I have a little tray over here that has all my paints on it. And it was a very scientific method. I looked over and I said, I think I'll pick that one, and that one. That's exactly how I picked my colors. Okay, now see how that's getting really of the greenish colors over there? That's why I said we may end up going back over lightly with the red, just to make sure that we've got, you know, that red is really, really showing. But I'm really liking how this is turning out. I'm going to sit that right there. For some reason, this brush was really stiff. Okay, I'm going to grab my other brush. Now we're going to go in with this really bright bubblegum pink. Okay, I think this is enough of a contrasting color that I think it's going to really do something here. And again, I'm going to say this, what I say all the time. If you don't like your finished product, if you get done with a project and you don't like it, sand it off and paint it again. Paint over the top of it. It's just paint. It's not the end of the world or anything like that. Okay, see, I'm loving this. I'm loving it. But I do think I want to go back over, at least with the red, and pull that red back up on top a little bit more. Not a lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to kind of hit the edges, so it seems like it was mostly a red barn. I'm gonna call this our barn. We've got this off of Grandpa's barn. Okay. All right, see that? And see how I just kind of hit the edges with the red? It's really hard for me to see here because of the lighting. The lighting's a little crazy because we're trying to make it bright for you guys on camera, and sometimes that takes away from what we can see. but I'm thinking this is looking pretty good. What do you guys think? So tell me down in the comments if you like, do you like doing backgrounds? Do you like this kind of painting where you're just kind of putting colors on? You know, I love color. So when I do things like this, I love the different colors that I can use to really make things pop. I think it's beautiful like that. Okay, I'm gonna stop because Christy could sit here, and yes, I used myself in the third person. I could sit here and paint this all day long, all day long. Now, see how I've got some, that's really a lot there. Just grabbing a dry brush, and I'm just gonna kind of go over it to help the drying process, because we don't want to spend 3 hours trying to wait for this to paint, because I am ready to get my words on here, aren't you? Okay, so that will help that dry a little bit faster, because if you don't get it dry, and since we're going to put white lettering on top, it will, you know, your lettering could turn pink. It could turn this green aqua color. So you just want to make sure it's pretty darn dry right here. Again, I want to thank the Stencil Sunday host, which is myself, Funky Junk Inspiration. My name's Christy. I would love it if you'd subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Make sure you hit that bell to get notifications. And then jump over and check out Mary from the Painted Peach. Do the same thing for her. And then, like I said, we have a bunch of new people that are joining us this week. And make sure you check out all of their channels also, and subscribe to them and all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so now let's look at this. Now I'm not going to be able to get the truck on here because my boards are not quite long enough. Another fun thing would be to put that truck in the center and then put the words on top if you really wanted to get the truck on there. But I wanted this to fit on this boards right here like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that down, and I'm kind of looking at the sides for the straightness, because I can't look at the top and bottom because we're all different. It's, you know, all different lengths and stuff. But this direction, is it perfectly parallel to each other? Probably not, but it's probably close enough. Now look how my stencil is bowing like that. That's a no-no. We want our stencil to be as flat as we can possibly get it. What you can do to fix that is either put something up underneath there, or since I have openings here, I can put, did you see that? When I put that down, it kind of flattened it. Now this is going to be a little bit different than what you normally stencil on. You want your stencil, your background to be very, very flat, okay? Mine is not very, very flat. Mine is all bumpy and crazy, but we're going to make it work. So the biggest thing is to work that paint up into your brush. It's better to put multiple coats on than to try to put all that paint in one setting. Okay, I like to use shop towels to just double check my brush right there. Okay, make sure I don't have too much on my brush. And here we go. Again, circular motion. I'm just going over the letters. I'm not trying to get every single nook and cranny. I am just going over. I'm going to go over this direction like this. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go back over the other direction. All right. Now, do we want to take a look at what that looks like? Of course we do. I'm just going to put my hand here, kind of hold that down. Now, I'm going to sneak it. If I flip it up, I would untape it. So it looks good. All right, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get a little bit more paint, not a whole lot. And here we go to our next word. Okay, now see, our boards jump right there. So we're going to have to be very, very careful in that spot. You also need to be careful on your bridges, because the bridges will move a little bit on you, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so Okay, now that I've got one coat on there, we're going to lift this up and see if we like it and make sure that we've got every area that we wanted to get, and if we need to go back over. I do not want to totally take my stencil off, but if you would accidentally move your stencil, it's very easy to line right back up. But just for the sake of time, we're just going to do that. And oh, you guys, I'm loving how this looks. I don't need any more paint on here. You guys, look at that. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I'm absolutely loving it. If it involves back roads, flea marks, and junkin', count me in. That is for sure. Okay, now you need to make a decision. Are we going to hang this board somewhere? Are we going to, what are we going to use to hang it up with? I'm thinking that I want to use some fabric. All right, now. All right, you guys, here's what I have decided that I want to do. I'm going to take some jean material, and that's what I'm going to make my hanger out of. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this up, and we're just going to cut some off of here. Okay, I think I'm going to go up the leg. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, that's way more than I need, but that's all right. We're going to cut. Let's just cut about right here. Okay, and we'll go up to where I did a minute ago, and we'll cut this piece off. Okay, so don't throw your old jeans away. You never know when you're going to want to use it for something. Okay, I'm going to cut the big piece off the end there, just like that. And here's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, we're going to use this as a hanger up here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it like that, and then we're going to glue it on the back. But first, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my stencil brush, okay, and I'm going to get me a little bit more of the red barn paint. All right, I'm going to put some on my thing here. I'm going to take this stencil brush right here, and again, I'm going to work that paint up in to that stencil brush. All right, and I'm going to cover my edges. Okay, am I going to get every single little spot? Heavens to Betsy, no. We're just going across it. It's also framing our project in a little bit, okay? I just don't want the raw wood to show on the sides wherever I might hang this up at, okay? You want plenty of paint on your brush. It's not like you're stenciling, but you don't want to blob it on here either, okay? So here we go. And the back, I will finish the back with this red also. I'm not going to bore you with that on here. I'll do that real quick off camera so you don't have to watch me do that. I'm going to hit my corners kind of heavy with the red right there. Okay, you kind of get the idea here, okay? So that's... But it just kind of finished, you want your projects to look finished. You don't want to have your projects sitting somewhere or where somebody can see the back or the side or whatever and it's raw wood, okay? So, all right, so now you can see that we got the whole thing painted. All right, so now I need to put I'm going to cut a couple pieces. I'm going to cut some of this off, all right? Because we're going to use this to hold down our... hanger here. All right, I'm going to take my hanger and I'm going to kind of twist it because I can. But we're just going to put, should we do it like that? Or should we just do it all as one? I think we'll just go out here. Okay, so I'm going to go right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue here like that. And we're going to put that down and try to get that to stay right there. Okay. Now I'm going to twist and come around. I'm only twisting because I just think that adds a little something extra to your hanger, but you do you. Okay, and we're going to lay that right down there like that. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Now what I want to do, I want to make sure that my things are going to stay on there. So this piece here, I am going to put over the top of that. And that should support that strap so that you don't pull it off. Okay, just a little extra support here. That's all that is. Okay, I'll put some glue right here. Right here, I'm gonna go across this and over to here. I think that's the whole thing. Maybe a little more than it needed to be. There we go. Okay, I'm pushing that down into that glue. Just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna pull these little extra guys out. And, oh, I just got glue on my fingers. It felt nice. Okay. And here we go. We've got a nice little fun country type of hanger right there. And right there is our project. You guys, thank you for joining me. And my name is Christy, and I'm from Funky Junk Inspiration. I'd love it if you'd subscribe to my channel. And here's the reveal. All the stencils came from Essential Stencils, and you can use the code FunkyJunk, all one word, at checkout to save some money. The link is in my description.